When I see Theo Von, I click.
I guess there is a second way, though, actually, and this is a good transition because we're now going to talk about Theo Von, is sometimes you become like this cultural and you become a big enough figure that some of the things that you say become something that the White House or others need to respond to. And so that's why when I saw this clip here of Theo Von, somebody who, I don't know if he voted for Trump, I don't know if he's ever said he attended his inauguration, and he's had on.
He was hanging out with Ivanka and Jared down in Mar-a-Lago not long ago.
Jared and Ivanka.
Just had J.D. Vance on.
Just had J.D. Vance on. Had J.D. Vance on before, previously on the campaign. The first major podcaster to have on Donald Trump. So, you know, he's also somebody, though, who is has been willing to at least speak out against Israel and his campaign in Gaza. But here, you have a very, very interesting message, like direct to camera. Pretty rare, in my opinion, from Theo on political events, speaking out against a war with Iran. Let's take a listen.
Trying to get us into a war with Iran or not, America, if Israel is trying to. I don't trust the Israel leader at all. I don't believe anything that guy says. And I don't think that our soldiers should have to go and defend stuff that they start. I'm not a soldier, so I'm obviously speaking out of turn. I'm not even brave enough to serve, so there's that element. But that is kind of how I feel, I guess. And so it's like, yeah, when do I speak? When do I say that? You know? Because it feels like they're trying to push Trump to go do that, and it's like, who makes that choice? Does he make that choice? And then
America first.
And what do we get, you know? What's the win for us? We're just involved in some other thing while we have suffering here at home. So maybe something like that is like, yeah, should I even speak up? Because I'm not in service. Servicemen and women may be like, we'll do it, you know, and that's their commitment and their.
They don't want it.
Job. But yeah, I don't know. That guy really scares me. And I don't know why we support them. I don't understand that. I wish they would really give us a better explanation. You know,
besides, my only guess is the money. AIPAC and the money. Are you kidding me? We're just going to support them cold-bloodedly, blindly. We don't even do that for family members.
Especially after the massacres in Gaza. I don't understand.
Ooh,
I do not understand that.
Go Theo Von.
And some people say, well, you don't know enough about it. It may not. But it's like, can I still speak about it? Can I speak about how I feel about it?
Serious as it gets on the Theo Von show. But look, I mean, I appreciate him doing it. And because, look, you know, there was so much, and I talked about this yesterday, Crystal, and this is even in the context of our own show. The White House made a huge deal about alternative media and podcasts, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, guess what? You know, we literally had either our second or our first biggest day ever this week, ever, in terms of our analytics. Why? Because we're providing content which is both newsy and it is obviously a lot of it's opinionated and again.
That's why we got the cave here. Not only is it opinionated, we have no allegiance here in the cave. He's talking about like us, cave dwellers. We here from the cave with Saladeen Ellis. I made this as a cave, like an analogy. You know, the allegory in the cave. Look it up if you never heard it. Plato's allegory in the cave. They sit there behind us, and we sitting there working, and they put pretty shadows, and they make us think that we need this and that, keeping up with the Joneses, and all this stuff to occupy us when the door is behind us, and we need to turn around. They're sitting there they're like this, making hand figures and stuff, and every day is something else, and this, you're like, I'm going to do this, and there's another thing, and then your car breakdown, then the kids, and then that, and then life, and then the job, and then this, and then school, you need that, and then something happened, now you're tired, your car messed up. And it's something, when there's the important thing, like, oh, y'all trying to trick us. Oh, everybody could be good. When you come here, we talk facts, not Republican, Democrat. We talk bottom line. Oh, they said this, oh, that. Yeah, he lying. Yeah, they not lying. Our politicians need a fucking revamp. There needs to be term limits so we don't have crooked politicians and they're taking deals after deals. So people could take a 3 years in there, 4 years and say, I just want to do good and get out. Not, oh, they there for 16 years and their dad was there. Now they getting paid from the same people that paid their dad. Hell no.
against the war.
Yeah.
And anti-war content literally could not be bigger right now. So if they care so much about YouTube and about anti-war content, I'm sure Kyle's channel is blowing the hell up. You can go and you can look at the YouTube views on any, major content creator who is political, who's speaking out against the war. I'd be willing to bet that they're all seeing similar rise. And so they cared so much about, the views of the bros and the podcast and all this other stuff. It's like, well, pay attention. Pay attention right now.
Yep.
Dave Smith, right? You guys made a big deal about him. It's like, well, what happened whenever he speaks out against you? Really, it's only cable news and the political establishment, which is really just willing to go along with this.
Yeah.
People who are not connected to the system think this is very, very messed up what's happening right now.
Yep.
But we all know what Trump is watching.
Sure.
We all know
But you're
what Trump is
making
watching.
a case for influence on Trump. I'm saying, though, that if in some way, again, they claim to have the pulse of the American people then at that time. Well, here's the pulse. I'm not saying we're representative of the whole country. Representative of some of the country, a decent amount of our audience voted for Trump. I know that. So, a lot of them don't support this war. So you should probably take that into account.
Here's what I would say is, listen, I think I think Trump is 100% correct that his base, his movement, they're going to be along for the ride. And also, listen, I'm sorry, when you poll the Republican base, they are just more pro-war than the Democratic base. That's just reality. They always have been. They still are, even as there's been some erosion in that direction. And
even though they're supposed to be the most Christian, I guess. It's weird. You're supposed to be Christian, but it's like, fucking take them down, America, burn them, bring democracy. We don't believe America is bringing democracy nowhere. We struggle with it at home. Who are we bringing democracy for? And who there do they trust? If Iran, the whole country, over 90 million people, they all crooked, who going to take over as soon as the leader? We going to pick them? Our leaders, who we don't even trust, going to pick their leader? Come on.
There was obviously, it was important for Trump politically in 2016 when he finally speaks the truth about the Iraq war. And I think this time around, it wasn't that people perceived him as anti-war that solidified his support with the base. The base was going to be there no matter what.
Right. Yeah.
It's independence. And that's who, I think will be unhappy. I think independents will, they may at the beginning actually support the war. I don't know.
And you know how non of a factor Iran is? The fact that we we could just bomb them and then that's it. Israel could do whatever they want. The fact that we can bomb them and then we're not even worried about them retaliating against us or striking us with any missiles, that's because that's what you call a bully. No, they could do so. I could pick on him. I could take his money. What, you going to swing on me? Nah, you crazy. They're willing to work with us without, maybe if we didn't tell them, you better do it or we're going to let Israel rain death upon you. It's the craziest thing ever. It's not going to work. Oh, they got nukes. Well, Israel got nukes. They could have nukes too. And by the time they even got a nuke in the sky, by the time it was out of their airspace, we'd been and shot the shit out of them if they tried it. They wouldn't do that. What's the point? They this is like a old school movie like the Joker and Batman. I'm gonna destroy the world. Well, if you destroy the world, it's nothing for you to even become king of. What are they gonna do? Launch a nuke so another one get wiped off the map? For what's the point? What's the end goal? Oh, must launch a nuke at America. Ha, 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 ha. Enough to take away the whole planet. Then everybody dies? That doesn't make sense.
Because there's if you would be hard-pressed to find a war that the U.S. got into that didn't enjoy some level of public support, unfortunately, over the course of my lifetime. But I think, Theo Von and those sorts of voices matter for independence. I will also say, though, just in terms of his framing there, it's so convenient for Trump that it's not him, it's he's getting pulled in, no, it's the Israelis, and who's really making the decisions here, and I don't trust that guy being Netanyahu. It's very convenient. It's not even critique of Trump. It's these nefarious forces are pulling us into war, which is also, like I said, it's a convenient and inaccurate narrative. Maybe I'm expecting too much from Theo Von.
I was going to say, I think you are.
I said, it is a way to justify what is already a horror show from Trump. Already a horror show from Trump.
Oh, not to mention, they tried to kill him too. Come on.
It's a way to justify the things that already, should be unacceptable. And people with character like Dave Smith have already said that's it. Already, even without whether we get directly offensively or have boots on the ground or, actively put up the mission accomplished banner, I'm done, I'm out. He should be impeached already for what he's doing. That is the actual, principled, accurate read of where you are if what you actually cared about was keeping this nation out of war.
I would say with Theo and with the look, one of the things I actually detected a lot, and I'm sure you saw this, is when he's like, I'm not sure if I'm allowed to speak about it. This is the concern trolling around expertise and really about people being willing to speak out on war. And he's like, I don't know if I know enough about it, because what happened? Theo had Candace Owens and I forget who else on the show who spoke out against Israel. And what do you think 98% of his phone was from some of the people who are pro-Israel? You don't know nearly enough to be able to comment on this. Like, how dare you say from him, like having to speak about this issue. And ultimately, I mean, I think what's penetrated his conscience is about the Israeli military action in Gaza, which kind of informs a lot of his thoughts here. So anyway, I cut him and many others much bigger break. I mean, one of the reasons why you shouldn't hold Dave and Theo to the same standard is like Dave is, incredibly knowledgeable.
Well, and Dave has
job.
Listen, go ahead, Theo. We love it. Keep doing it. Keep talking. We don't want to be involved in this war. It's crazy they're making it seem like we have to. We ain't worried about it. If you ain't know, even if they did have it, the U.S. would knock them out the sky if they tried to even fucking do that. Just like they say North Korea could have nukes, but they ain't got no missile big enough. And then they know if they hit our assets in South Korea, we're going to be on their ass. So it don't matter. Everybody can have nukes. They say Russia wants us dead. They got nukes. But somehow they don't fucking do it. Putin's this monstrous super power and his killer. He could have dropped it on Ukraine, but he didn't. He hasn't. He knows the ramification of that once you start using nukes like that. Nobody's going to do that. Russia don't want a war like that while they're trying to take over something. They're going to tell them not to because they friends. China, they ain't going to let them do that. Stop. It's fake. We don't want to be lied to again about weapons of mass destruction. We won't be lied to again. Or you have to, or you need to is preemptive. What are we talking about? So just because somebody say death to America and they deserve to die now, we need to strike them first. 90 million people. How many do we kill? Half? And Israel has reached the point where they're no longer justified. That it is a equal response now. They've passed the equal response. Around the 50,000 killed mark, they passed the equal response for the death of October 7th. I think we are comfortable enough saying that. Let me know what y'all think, though, Cave Dwellers. Like, share, subscribe, all that.